Hey, yeah, how is it going? I hope you are doing well and welcome to Let's Play SimCity 4. This is episode 2 of the revisiting the city of Palembang, and we are moving on from the previous area to this section of the map. And this was supposed to be a town center area of a rural town, but the zone has grown a bit out of control and now it doesn't look so rural anymore. And it's a little bit of a mess, so let's work on that and turn this area into a proper downtown. We started by flattening the terrain, using the previous area as a reference for the elevations, and moving through the railways because we have a bit of an elevation issue at the corners and diagonals of the tracks. And I don't dislike buildings on a slope terrain. Actually, quite the contrary, I actually enjoy building my city with some slopes here and there. If you watch my live stream of European town build, you can see that a lot of the area is built on slope terrain. But it's just that what we have here on this area are just a bunch of small bumps and not a proper slope, and they can be really annoying to deal with. They make the base of some buildings look weird, and it's a bit hard to build a nice looking network on top of them, especially if you want to have diagonals and curves. So for this one here, I think it's necessary to flatten the area. And since this is going to be a downtown area and we are going to add some canals later on, I think having flat terrain to build on would be proper and just overall better for us. And as you can see, I prefer using network tile to flatten the terrain, usually using the street tiles since I can remove them using the zone tools. It's a bit slower than using the terraforming, but it gives me a bit more control and I can avoid destroying the buildings that I want to keep around, like this white tower here. So yeah, I like it better using them. And I'm going to use avenue for this main road here, replacing the wide road that we have before. Also add some pet malls later on, just to give a bit more space between the buildings, so not like before. Later on we will be able to clearly see the road traffics and sims going around the town. Let's also rezone some of these buildings, and later on we also going to zone the area around the avenue, mostly with I think medium or low density zones, so we won't have big towers all over blocking our views. For this downtown and just overall of the city, when I look at an area, I prefer to have something that I can look at and see some sign of life going on. I think it's much nicer to see some parks and plazas with sims doing their activities. Maybe pedestrians and cars going around, and just overall lively area. It is much nicer, I think. Sure, we will also have some skyscrapers for this area later, but I will make sure that we still have a nice view of what's going on in the area that we can look at. Okay, we are almost done with the zones. Now I'm just adding some bus stops and parking lots. Also, make sure to add some crossings to your avenue and roads, so this downtown will be safe for pedestrians. And just for a safety measure, it's nice to have a fire station covering the area, and also maybe a police station too, to reduce the crime in the area. So yeah, less crime would be very good for the commercial zones in our downtown. Alright, I think we are ready to run the simulation again and see the zones develop into buildings. I'll be back once I think the buildings in the area are good enough, and we'll be doing the canals. And one more thing, just like what I did here, you can add lots of parks and plazas to temporarily boost the growth in the area. And yeah, okay, now let's see our city grows, and we'll get back to you soon after this. And now let's fill this area with canals and some decorations. For a downtown and overall area with tall buildings, I think it would be nice for the space to have some breathing rooms. And for that you can add some canals, green parks and plazas, or just fill the space with some trees. This canal set that I'm using is Urban Canals set by Moonlight that I got from their website. You can find the link in the mods list if you are interested. And it's not really a set with lots of options for decorations like some other canal sets, but it's a complete set, and I really like the water texture. So I'll give it a try here for this area. Okay, it's done, but we're going to get back to this canals later after I'm done with some of these decorations. And as I said before, I prefer to see something going on and a lively area. So we are going to add some small buildings and bike paths surrounding the canals. I think it would be much better and nicer to look at instead of just the concrete walls. And since I didn't really plan this canal, we have a bit of an issue with the space available here. The lesson is, if you are planning to have some canals in your city, I think it's better to build them first before anything else, or at least plan them properly to avoid what happened here. Okay, we got a nice building to complete this area, and I think we are done with these canals here. Let's work on this tree line and add some subalpine piers for variations. And I got some nice floppables that I think would be a nice fit for this section. So let's replace some of these zones with them. And now for the closing part, we are going to add some details to this farm area. Maybe some of you already noticed that I show this area in some of the pictures I shared for the previous part. So here we are going to add farms building, paths, and the usual spam canals. And we are just going to add, going to fill the rest with some residential zones. Hopefully we can get some suitable houses for this area. And I think that's all for this episode. We have a showcase coming up after this, so don't go anywhere yet. And I just want to say thank you for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoy this one, and maybe consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Also, very much thank you for you guys who have always been supporting to this channel. Okay, enjoy the showcase, stay safe and healthy, and I hope to see you again on the next one. Bye bye.